Thank you. Good afternoon. First of all, I'd like to thank again the organizers on behalf of Argentina's Federal Public Defender's Office and the Inter-American Association of Public Defenders for giving us the space to share our main experiences on international and regional cooperation to increase access to justice. As I explained yesterday at the key principles plenary session, the system adopted by most of Latin America in order to guarantee access to justice and to legal aid is, with certain differences between the countries, that of public defense provided by the state. In October 2003, during the second Inter-American Congress of Public Defenders held in Rio de Janeiro, the Inter-American Association of Public Defenders, IDEF by the acronym in Spanish, was founded with the main objective of fostering institutional strengthening of public defenders' offices by creating an interinstitutional permanent coordination that would ensure respect of human rights of people in conflict with the law. The IDEF, consisting of public defenders' offices and associations from 18 Latin American countries, has as its main goals, first, to defend the effectiveness of internationally recognized human rights and guarantees. Second, to provide legal assistance and representation when required, with due regard for quality and excellence, allowing an effective access to justice. Third, to encourage that existing legislation of the countries in the region and its reforms respect the human rights of people in vulnerable situations. Fourth, to promote the independence and functional autonomy of the public defenders' offices in order to ensure a wide access to high-quality legal aid, not only in criminal matters. And finally, fifth, to support the institutional strengthening of the public defenders' offices in balance with the prosecutors' offices. Since its creation, the IDEF has had a lot of achievements in its labor fulfilling its objectives. I will refer here to some of the most important ones. In 2009, IDEF signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Inter-American Court of Human Rights, by which the Inter-American Public Defender entity was created. IDEF is responsible for appointing the Inter-American Public Defenders, for which each country selects 2 candidates to represent victims who lack either economic means or legal representation in a case to be heard at the Inter-American Court of Human Rights, with the aim of reducing economic, social, cultural, and gender barriers to access international human rights courts. This agreement was complemented in 2013 by the Memorandum of Understanding between the IDEF and the Executive Secretariat of the Inter-American Commission of Human Rights, and in those Inter-American public defenders with the capacity to represent victims before the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights. This new entity consolidates the significance of the public defenders' offices in the region as a guarantee for access to justice. In 2011, the IDEF signed a general cooperation agreement with the Secretariat of Legal Affairs of the Organization of American States. This agreement was the platform from which the IDEF promoted the adoption by the General Assembly of the Organization of the American States of 4 resolutions from 2011, the following year till this year, that was the last in June of this year, where the highest authority of the Organization of American States stressed the importance of public defenders' works in guaranteeing access to justice, especially for vulnerable persons. In those resolutions, the General Assembly also recognized the importance of having public defenders' offices that are independent and have functional, financial, and budgetary autonomy as part of the member states' efforts, quote, to ensure a public service that should be efficient, free of inappropriate interference and control by other branches of government. The job of Inter-American Public Defenders was also positively valued by the General Assembly. Another very important achievement of the IDEF was the adoption in 2013 by the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights of the report made by its rapporteur on human rights defenders called Guarantees for Independence of Justice Operators towards strengthening access to justice and the rule of law in the Americas. It's in English if you want to see it on the Commission webpage. In the report, which stated several documents published by IDEF, in chapter 2.c, we're referring to public defender services, and where Argentina's Federal Public Defender General and IDEF General Secretary was invited to a close meeting among other experts before its adoption, the Commission recognized the role of public defenders as a guarantee of the accused person's inalienable right to be assisted by counsel provided by the state in order to be able to mount a proper defense, and also recommended the institutional autonomy of public defenders' offices to avoid a possible risk that may be generated by their attachment to another branch or agency of the justice system. That's paragraph 48 of the report. In the framework of Eurosocial Regional Program for Social Cohesion in Latin America, IDEF developed a regional guide for the public defense and the protection of persons deprived of liberty, along with its explanatory memorandum. This is an unprecedented document in the region, which will help increase the access to justice of this specific group in a specific vulnerable situation, people deprived of liberty. The guide was approved by IDEF in La Antigua, Guatemala in 2013. The international cooperation with the European Union continues this year with the second phase of the project, where it's planned to work on 2 handbooks, one for public defenders' visits to defendants in prisons, and the other for monitoring detention centers. Finally, I could not overlook that for IDEF, it's been an honor to have been invited by UNODC and UNDP, two of the organizers of this conference, at the beginning of this year, to be part of the steering committee which guides the development and implementation of a global study on the provision of legal aid, an unprecedented research that will have a paramount importance in identifying priorities for United Nations technical assistance in legal aid. This was a very brief outline of our experience. I remain at your disposal for any question. Thank you.